enthusiast and feel very strongly about the issue which we're discussing today. I'm the immediate past president of the Maryland Sheriff's Association and serve as the current chair of our Legislative Affairs Committee. The Maryland Sheriff's Association recently issued our resolution promoting safer communities for Maryland. The resolution incorporates the association's position on gun rights. The tenets of our resolution are, as the sheriffs recognize, the elected sheriff is the chief local enforcement officer and elected by the people. All Maryland sheriffs take an oath of office to support and defend the United States Constitution, the Maryland Constitution, and the laws of the state of Maryland, including the Bill of Rights and the Second Amendment. The primary mission of the sheriffs is to ensure public safety. There must be a comprehensive approach to create safer environment and safer communities. Gun control alone, we don't believe, creates that. We agree to keep guns out of dangerous hands. We need to support improved information sharing across the disciplines. The Maryland Sheriffs believe mental health treatment must be greatly expanded. Maryland Sheriffs support local state's attorney in their vigorous prosecution of those who violate existing gun laws and encourage enhanced sentences for violators. The primary mission of the sheriffs is to ensure public safety. We support enhanced firearm safety efforts, including incentives to promote both safe and secure storage of firearms and the use of firearms. The Maryland Sheriff's Association opposes any law or regulation that infringes or restricts a citizen's right to bear arms under the Second Amendment. This bill.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished members of the House, I'm Sheriff Mike Lewis, the Sheriff of Wycomico County. I'm the current president of the Maryland Sheriff's Association, and I serve as co-chair of the Legislative Committee, which meets once a week. As a lifelong resident of Wycomico County, and an avid hunter and fisherman, my views are certainly stronger than some others. However, I echo other sheriffs when I say I oppose any law and regulation that infringes or restricts a citizen's right to protect himself or his family, which is a true reason for our long-standing Second Amendment right.
Yes.
The Maryland Sheriff's Association has agreed to work with Governor O'Malley and our local delegation on many issues regarding gun safety and public safety. I agree with these common sense points of discussion which identify the real issues associated with gun control that do not infringe on a citizen's right to bear arms under our Second Amendment. As a 28-year veteran of law enforcement, 22 years as a Maryland State Trooper, and now 6 years as a Sheriff of Wycomico County, I have a distinguished career in both gun and drug enforcement across our state, with thousands, not hundreds, of street and highway arrests under my belt. I'm very proud to say that I've been that grunt in the trenches, and I feel qualified to say that proposed House Bill 294 will do nothing to reduce, suppress, or stem the flow of gun crime on the streets of the state of Maryland.
Yeah.
I remember working at one time where the gun was legally registered to them. The guns were often stolen, sold for drugs, including marijuana, and now we're even trying to legalize that. Do you really believe these proposed feel-good laws will reduce any crime at all? I've heard testimony here today regarding the number of law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty. According to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C., for 2 consecutive years, law enforcement officers' line of duty deaths have plummeted. In fact, there are more law enforcement officers killed in automobile-related crashes than are killed by gunfire every year. And that has been consecutive for the last 9 years. Due to Maryland's lack of vigorous prosecution of gun crimes and Governor O'Malley's determination to abolish the death penalty, along with this new proposed legislation, there is tremendous incentive today for criminals to move to Maryland to resume their criminal activities. Law-abiding citizens, now discouraged from legally purchasing a firearm due to these proposed hurdles, can only stand by and watch these criminals flourish in their old profession of terrorizing innocent citizens. What this bill won't do This bill will not keep certain restricted firearms out of the hands of criminals who intend to commit a crime with a gun. This proposed legislation will not keep violent repeat offenders incarcerated longer for the crimes they now commit with guns. This will not deter or prevent acts of violence involving guns. This bill does not change the current concealed carry law to enhance personal protection rights of our citizens. These are nothing more than feel-good proposals that do absolutely nothing more than impact our law-abiding citizens and undoubtedly make our law-abiding citizens victims of those criminals who will continue to steal, rob, rape, and murder while holding a firearm to your neighbor's head. This morning on the Senate floor, I listened to Senator Raskin, a constitutional law professor, just this morning, while aggressively arguing for the abolishment of the death penalty. He stated it has been proven that the death penalty does not serve as a deterrent to those committing homicide, no more than the passing of this legislation will do to prevent gun violence in the state of Maryland. Yet we are proposing legislation that will certainly affect the safety and security of law-abiding citizens while remaining hopeful that these criminals will now abide by our new laws. This is an outrageous insult to the American people. The United States and the Constitution of Maryland. And I'm prepared to stand my ground with my constituents for the preservation of this traditional interpretation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes,
Carolina County. It's a little small community on the eastern shore, about 4,000 people in population. I have a belief, and the belief is this, that everyone in this room, including probably the entire state, at the end of the day wants the same thing. And what we want is, we want our children, we want our families, and we want our communities to be a safe place to live. The problem where we differ with this is that there's two paths that we can take to get to this. Some would go the path of this bill, and others, like myself, would prefer to have a more simpler approach. Why would we want to take the long, bumpy, twisty, windy road, reinventing the wheel by establishing a new law when we can very easily identify the problem and take a more direct approach? That direct approach, in my opinion, should be to identify what is broken. We need to fix what is broken in this thing. Mr. Kelly earlier touched on the subject where he said that our judicial system has a problem. Our judicial system is broken. It is a revolving door. That revolving door consists of dangerous